Anthropic, the company behind the AI model Claude Fable 5, has announced that it is restoring full access to this model starting July 1st after a temporary suspension due to a U.S. government directive. For those who may not be familiar, Claude Fable 5 is an advanced AI model capable of generating complex code and identifying software vulnerabilities. However, concerns arose when Amazon researchers discovered a way to bypass its safeguards, prompting the U.S. government to intervene. The government's order, issued on June 12, required Anthropic to block foreign nationals from using Fable 5 and its more capable counterpart, Mythos 5. Anthropic has now confirmed that it has received notice from the Department of Commerce lifting export controls on both models. As a result, Claude Fable 5 will once again be available globally to users on various platforms, including the Claude platform, Claude.ai, Claude Code, and Claude Cowork. Pro, Max, Team, and select enterprise plans will have access to the model included for up to half their weekly usage limits through July 7th. It's worth noting that Anthropic has developed a new safety classifier that blocks flagged techniques in more than 99% of cases, addressing the concerns that led to the suspension. The company is also working with industry giants like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google on a shared standard for grading the severity of AI jailbreaks. This move marks an important step forward in the ongoing dialogue between tech companies, governments, and regulatory bodies regarding the safe development and deployment of advanced AI technologies. As we continue to navigate this complex landscape, it's essential to prioritize transparency, collaboration, and responsible innovation. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're continuing our coverage of international news, and today we're focusing on a developing story in South Africa. Tens of thousands of people marched in the country's largest cities, demanding that the government tighten its immigration policy and expel undocumented migrants. The protests were largely peaceful, but there have been reports of clashes between South Africans and immigrants, resulting in at least 4 deaths in recent weeks. The situation has led to a mass exodus of undocumented migrants, with over 25,000 people leaving the country. The police remain on high alert, and the government is facing pressure to address the issue of immigration. It's a complex problem, with many South Africans feeling that immigrants are taking jobs and resources away from citizens. However, others argue that immigrants contribute to the economy and deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. We've seen similar stories play out in other parts of the world, where xenophobia and anti-immigrant sentiment have led to violence and discrimination. It's a reminder that immigration is a global issue and one that requires a nuanced and compassionate approach. As we continue to follow this story, we'll be bringing you updates and insights from experts and individuals affected by the situation. The role of barbers in Kenya's largest mental health hospital is also worth noting, as they help patients boost their self-esteem through grooming sessions. This unique approach highlights the importance of addressing mental health issues in a holistic way. Meanwhile, in other news, thousands have marched in South Africa, demanding that illegal migrants leave, and the country's anti-migrant protesters have been marching nationwide. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to bring your attention to a pressing issue that's been making headlines in India. The country is grappling with the complexities of citizenship and documentation, leaving many of its citizens uncertain about their status. Recently, the Indian government clarified that a passport may not be considered conclusive proof of citizenship, sparking anxiety among the population. This development has raised questions about the reliability of various identity documents, including voter ID cards, Aadhaar biometric cards, and birth certificates. The issue is further complicated by the fact that India's citizenship law does not provide a single document that establishes citizenship for most people. Instead, different documents serve different purposes, leaving room for ambiguity and potential challenges to one's status. Critics argue that this lack of clarity has created an environment where marginalized and minority communities are disproportionately affected. The Election Commission of India's efforts to revise electoral rolls have been met with skepticism, with some claiming that the process is skewed against certain groups. It's essential to acknowledge that the Indian government has a responsibility to ensure the integrity of its citizenship and voting systems. However, it's equally important to recognize the concerns of its citizens and provide a clear, fair, and transparent process for establishing and verifying one's citizenship. As we consider this complex issue, it's crucial to approach it with empathy and understanding. The uncertainty surrounding citizenship can have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only individuals but also communities and society as a whole. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.